Right, so far we have created, right? We've created
Yes.
a form, all right? But then within our workflow, we need to be able to read the data that is being generated by our form or our tool. At some point, we need to update it, and at some point, we need to delete. Okay, so technically in Commcare, from C is the one that is independent. This one is also in ODK. All right, so ODK, most of it just ends here. All right. Maybe at some instances you can do custom where you're also able to read, right? But updating, that's a different case. Updating, that feature is currently accessible in ODK and Survey CTO. All right. But delete, you don't have it. Delete, you have to go to the server direct, but there are ways you can program it using code so that whatever record has been deleted, it doesn't move away from the server. It just gets stored, but it doesn't get listed as one of the active records. All right. Like you can use 1 for delete and 0. 1 for active and 0 for what? For delete. Or 1 for active.
Okay, sorry. It's the Microsoft Word screen that is still.
Yes, I'm still there under Microsoft.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So in Commcare, from read, update, and delete is case management. Okay. Now, how do we configure case management? Before we can configure case management, we need to understand how Commcare does. Now, this is data management in Commcare. So sorry, we're going to learn this one side by side.
No.
Data management.
Yes, it's fine.
Commcare. Now, data management is not only when you are analyzing, but also when you are creating your tools, when you are designing your data collection tools, you have to think about data management. Now, for Commcare, this is what happens. What is that? If you have a form, okay, and you're going to be learning data protection as we go along. So, forms, you'll have your set of questions. Okay. Now, this question gets stored in a table somewhere. Or maybe let me put it somewhere. Yeah, just to. So it's a table. Now, because Commcare is GDPR and HIPAA compliant, only those, if you are creating, right? So by default, you can create and the information will sit in here, all right? And then I'll have another table, all right? Maybe an update table. So this can be a registration table. And then this can be our follow-up. All right, form.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the follow-up form or the update form requires to be able to read data from the registration form. So ideally, the way it has been configured currently, the form that is being used for registration cannot be reused for editing. Right? So, because the nature of our data, we are looking at data protection. This is health data. It's very sensitive. We also want to control who is updating it, all right, and who has access to it. So by default, this form here cannot connect and read the data in here, right? So we have to do something to be able to release this data to this form. Right? And the way you release this data, you can't just release the entire form. You have to go inside this form through cases or case management, right? So we are going to create cases. So every form, every registration form should have cases. All right. Now, yes, now you have your list of questions that we have created here. All right. The data is already there, but it's not being shared to other forms that might require this data for the downstream workflow. All right. So in Commcare, let me just go back here. Patient registration form. There. Now, we want to be able to create a follow-up form that will build on this or be able to track each of these cases, patient cases or case management. Now, for that to happen, this, you see all these questions, they have
Yes.
the list, okay? They have to be exposed, but in a secure manner through cases. Now, if you can remember, we need something called properties. There has to be some part here that talks about properties, but currently you can't see it. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, currently you can't see it. So how do we go about it? Now, on this form here, we have settings. Okay, forget about this. This second one that looks like a gearbox. For every form has that setting, right? So you just click on that settings gear icon. All right. You're going to see there are 3 buttons here: case management, settings, and actions. So under case management, this is where we configure our properties. So you can see we have a button here for property. All right. And then under cases here, it tells you that it's a registration form. Use a registration form to add new cases to your case list. And this is the name. So this says this form opens a new case. Yes. And we also have a close. It can also close case when the form is complete. So there are times you want to close the case. There are times you should not close the case. It all mimics your health workflows, health program workflow. It will depend on how your tracking mechanism has been structured. All right. So it should only maybe, I usually recommend that it should close a case. It should be conditional. All right. Maybe after treatment, once the patient is free of the disease, can they be free of the disease first? Let me not bring my.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe they know we have options for exit. So
Okay.
once the person has completed the treatment cycle, you can close the case, close the form.
Okay. All right. So we are going to expose all those questions that we want to be tracked. All right, or that we want to push to the downstream. It mimics the hospital mechanism. You come in under inpatient, we register you, and then once your file has been created, it gets pushed maybe to a general practitioner who looks at your whatever, and then from there, they either push you to a specialist medical personnel in that manner, and then maybe at some stage you go to the lab. So your file is moving all through those steps, but now it's doing it digitally or electronically. That's what we call case management. All right. So if you have not registered in the inpatient, then if you go to the pharmacy, then they have to first confirm on the system, are you there? Are you listening? Because of the code that you're going to give them. If they don't see you, then it means you have to go and go through the system. That's how you automate all this so that everybody, all your processes are monitored and actually get to create data, because at the end of the day, we want to do data-driven decision making. Right? So one of the ways to do data-driven decision making, one of the ways to be HIPAA compliant within a hospital is to adopt systems. And not only hospitals, of course, health programs usually they partner with the healthcare facilities. Yes. So you need to work with systems, and one of those systems is data collection tools like Commcare, right? Yes. So we are going to expose everything. So how do I do that? I'm going to make my questions to be. I'm going to link the questions on this registration form to the case properties. So every question is a case property. It can be a case property, but you have to decide. Now, the only downside about this is that it's manual. You have to do it manually.
Okay.
Yes. So the first thing you come here, you want to see, we already have a case here. That is a date of visit. And ideally, this should be the first one. But remember, we need to also do a unique identifier.
ID.
Yes, that is how to generate. Don't worry, we'll circle back to that under calculations. And don't worry, the cases here can also be updated. Okay, so under add property, you select like this. Now, when you click this, what it does, it accesses the form. Remember which form this is? It's patient registration. It's better. It's patient registration. So you can add as many cases here as you want. So if you want the entire form, like if I wanted to update, then I need to expose all those questions, right? So all these are here, but please don't be like myself. You can always delete what you don't need by clicking on this. Yeah, so you start here. So we have the question, and then we have the case property. Okay, so the question here comes in. So now at this point, you want to keep the order. So currently we already have date of visit. We can say state, right? And you can see automatically it has been assigned state case property. Now, maintaining a similar name between question and case, it will go a long way in ensuring consistency and ensuring that you don't get a mix-up as you are coding. Okay, so you can see how do we access this. This one is from the form under basic information group and then the state question. So it gives you the route to that question property. Okay, don't worry, this will come in. If you remember, we can export this form and edit it in Excel also, but it's a little bit different from the normal Excel.
Okay.
Yes. Great. So the next item.
You can import it back.
Yes.
Okay.
We come to local government. We also bring it under local government. We come to full name. Also pick it. Date of birth. Gender. And phone number. We can continue adding because I believe we have others. Okay, use this scroll wheel. Symptoms. Date of symptom. Type. And symptom observed. Now, what next? Now, once you create your cases, you need to save. Okay. So, any follow-up form should be able to access this case property.
Okay.
All right. So now remember, let me just renew whatever we are doing here. We are building a data structure. Forms are data structures, and they get developed based on the data structure that we want to have in place. So ideally, you are building an application on top of data. Data-driven applications. Yes. So you are building on top of data. So the data dictates what happens. Workflows, the way you automate workflows is by use of data. At every stage of your workflow, there should be data being generated, right? So depending on the workflow, data can be generated once at the entrance or at the start, and then it gets used at different stages of the workflow. All right. So yes, just have that at the back of your mind as we proceed to the next one. Now, the next thing that you want to do is to build a follow-up form, right? Currently, it has already done one for you here, but this one is empty. All right. So you can see for the follow-up form, you now have access to an extra feature here called app properties.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
All right. Yes. Now, you can copy and paste your questions from one form to another. Okay. Yes. Yes. So we have this follow-up form. So how do we make it? Now, you have two options. You can either, now you see this form, the way it is, you can export it. Okay.
Spot it. Okay.
Oh, sorry. This one here. Okay. We have manage cases. It will take you back to the same place here. And then we have app summary. So app summary, it's just a summary of your application or your data collection tool, right? So it gives an inventory of all the available fields inside your tool or question and how they have been structured or organized. Yes, yes. All right. So
Okay, you pull that up from the
this one,
Yes.
you didn't see it.
It was too quick. Sorry.
Okay. Let me do it once more. So we were here at the patient registration form. We are still at the entrance. We are yet to go into the data processing factory inside Commcare, all right? So this is a patient registration tool, right? On that tool, we said we have three partitions, okay? Up here, just below the menu bar, you have these two buttons, all right? We have manage cases and app summary. Right? So manage cases, you can access it here from settings, but also this one here, it navigates you directly to where we were. Like if I click manage cases, it will show me all the fields that have been exposed as case properties for this. Yes. Now we said for registration forms, all fields all fields or all questions have the capacity to be case properties. All right. You can decide you only want to have 2 properties, 3 properties, or maybe just everything, depending on what you want to do. But we've said, if you are inside Commcare, then under CRUD operation, read, update, delete, this falls under case management. All right. So for you to be able to perform this, you need to have a case management setup. All right. That's why you're seeing we are setting up this. All right. Yes. So now this will allow us to link or to plug in other forms that will help us. Now, this is already a data structure. I want you to remember this, this table here. There's this database here. Every form has a database or a table inside the database, yes. Okay. Now, the way you update, you don't update on the form. You update on the table. You update the table. A form is just an interface to enter your data and maybe read your data. All right. And also the form is also used to update your data. All right. But the actual change is happening at table level, this table here. All right. So case properties are coming from this table here. Okay. This table is responsible for case properties.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Case properties are just our fields, our data columns. All right. Case properties are just data columns. So in here, you have a table with the different fields. So a single column like this is what's referred to as a case property. It can be gender, it can be age, it can be disease, it can be the symptoms. Right? All those are properties. Right? So for this form here to come and maybe update, right? So create form and update form are 2 different entities inside Commcare. All right. That's why a collection form, a data entry form is different from a data update form or a data registration. So, but all of them are forms just with different capabilities of the CRUD. CRUD, C-R-U-D. Now, for you to access your table, you need a form. All right. Yes, you need a form. Case properties. Case. Another name for case from native data management, like in Excel, or not really Excel. I don't know whether you've done it. Microsoft Access. Yes. Queries. All right. Case properties are just like queries. So case property, it will not give you access directly to the table, but it will give you a platform where, based on what you have been allowed to see. So that's why you can see, you can have maybe 100 records, but only maybe 5 are being used as case properties. 500 fields, maybe 50 or 10 fields, but only 5 or 2 are being used as case properties. So this means that at the end of the day, your table is very secure, and we are only exposing what we need. So cases can be 5 out of 10, or it can still be 10 out of 10. right? So it gives you a
Yeah.
platform to come and now under here, if it's update, you can update now, all right? But you can only update what the developer has given as authorized, what is authorized, yes. So once it's done, then we submit. That is when that update now happens, once we submit, all right, the update. I hope data protection is now clear in this manner. Okay.
Yeah.
Data protection. I was once asked this question: how is my tool?
Data.
Yes, and data, is it being handled properly? You see,
How do you secure your listing?
yes. Data protection, a part of it, it's not something that can be done by a single person, right? Like right now here you can see under software development, it's also there. Right. Yes. Also, when it will come to app usage, or when people are using your tool, they still data protection. But if you as a developer has taken time to handle most of this, the user doesn't need to worry. And the idea of data protection is that the tool should be secure enough. The equipment handling our data should be standard. All right. Yes, so that we just live very minimal. We live very minimal for anything that has to be with compromising the data protection.
You see? Okay.
Okay, we proceed.
Yes.
Great. So now, yes, that's back to where I was. We can switch back to edit form, or we can go to app summary. App summary is this that you are seeing labels, all right? You can switch to calculations. You can also, question IDs, calculations, display. It will add them with what you want. Okay. This shows the display condition, the validation, the comments, the default values, and the cases. Yes. Yeah.
So just to ask, there's something you spoke about data security now. If we like user role control, will that be one of it?
Yes. Users are always part of the data protection. You see, let me just do a quick one here. Data protection has everything to do with workflows, right? If there are no workflows, then you don't need data protection. So, most systems usually behave like this. You're going to have software, all right? At some point, you're going to have hardware. Okay. At some point here, you're going to have data. Okay. At some point here, you're going to have users. All right. All of these are interconnected. All of them are interconnected. Actually, I should circles to be big so that they can connect.
Data, users, software, and hardware.
Yes.
All has to be protected. Okay.
And then here, these are the procedures or protocols. Procedures are the laid down guidelines on how to utilize this resource. All right. So of this, they meet under procedures. Data protection is under procedures. All right. And still, they still connect here. All of them are connected. All right. Hardware can connect directly to data. hardware to users, hardware, and the case is the same. All these circles can get into each other. All right. Yes. So data protection is under here procedures. Procedures now control the use of this workflow, how the workflow. These are now what should happen at each stage of your workflow. All right. Now, in very many business settings or program settings, there has to be an initiation stage or an onboarding stage. Okay. Like a project has to be fast, the concept has to be come up with, has to be financed, and then we need to have technical expertise to execute it. So, and under project execution, there are certain things that need to happen. Of course, we have beneficiaries, all right? And then we have performance indicators. We have objectives. All right? Yes. So, and also system is a great way to come up with monitoring data. If you are looking to monitor anything within health programs, then you can't just monitor without data, all right? And there are various ways you can capture your data. You can use systems. For systems, we have quantitative data and we have qualitative data. For qualitative data, things like focus group discussion. There are times you just want to have discussions. Now, those discussions, that data can also still be analyzed so that you are able to understand the impact. All right. So one of the things you also need to look out for is capacity to analyze qualitative data.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good thing, all right? Don't just limit yourself to quantitative, okay? Yes, let's proceed. Now, having understood this, then we can move forward. So, just go back to now. We have our follow-up form, but you can still create one if you don't want to work with by just under this. All right. This case management here, this case, patient case, we have a registration and follow-up. You can add, you can have a normal case, you can have another case list. Or if you wanted to build on this, you can come here on this button here. All right. You have a follow-up and you have a register. This one is for taking new cases. Follow-up, this one allows you to either update, delete, and all that. So that's how you create the follow-up. You can see it's just the normal way.
All right. So will the follow-up be different from this other form?
A follow-up only, what we mean by follow-up, it's that it's dependent on.
Sorry, please let me pick this call. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Shima. Good morning. Adio. Hello? No, I do.